everybody. Today is day 20. I think, if my math is right, and we all know how Martha feels about math, we are 1/5 of the way there. So, that makes me happy that I've survived this long and stuck to it this long. So this is the little owl I was telling you about in yesterday's video. Let me get the fabric out. Hold on. I should have kept it out and I did not. So I'm gonna have to put you up a little bit. Alrighty. This arm is not the best. Not the worst, not the best. But just to give you an idea, this is what the fabric looks like. Aren't they cute? And I've never used it for anything else. So today it shall go onto a heart. One of them. One of them. I can make a lot of hearts out of that fabric. I just slide that bin under my chair. All right, so I'm going to put you back down a little bit because I think I tend to stay in camera more then. And what I did was I took some of this green polka dot fabric. I had a fat quarter of that. It's not as sturdy as the other hearts. That's okay. It's all right. I'm going to be okay with that. I hope when I start working on it. But the owl needed, excuse me, a heart that was a little bigger. So you see, I cut it out just like, you know, maybe 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch bigger. But the owl's head was sticking up over the top here. And I didn't want to put him completely lopsided. Not that he's real straight there, but hey. And then because I thought I was putting him on that heart, but even when I cut the edge way down around him. So now I have to sew an owl on that doesn't have any outside edge to the fabric. So I have this brown and beigeish, neutrally kind of colored thread, variegated, of course, because that's how I roll. And I'm just going to try and stitch this on. I might be too close. Let me put you up a little bit, because otherwise my hands, I think, are gonna. All right. Now I will try and stay here. I'll try really hard, I promise. Problem is that I have to lift it up a little to get, you know, off the mat, and also for my eyes to focus. So, yeah. Getting old isn't for sissies. So, there is that. I hope that this finds everybody doing well. And Christine, I appreciate the shout out in your video that you put out. I did comment, but the Oscars were last night. And we started to watch a little of it live, but we've gotten so spoiled by fast forwarding through shows and through commercials and all that, through categories we don't particularly like, especially music awards. Like, you know, they are sometimes worth fast forwarding through. And being our age, we don't know anybody popular anymore. So I do like the oldies. I miss Frank Sinatra and Frankie Valli and the 50s music and the 60s music. And luckily there are radio stations that play some of those. So I am sometimes reminiscent that way. But other than that, it is overcast yesterday. We did get some more snow flurries, you know, just flakes falling. It didn't stick. I mean, heck, it was near 80 in February, so, you know, it's not like we've had frozen ground for a long time. It's not frozen now either. I think maybe people that were in their gardens a little too early a couple weeks ago might have been disappointed by the weather, but it's what it is. It's still only March. Last year was such a beautiful spring. I mean, it just seemed to go on forever. There was maybe one rain shower a week. It was just gorgeous. It was like around the 60s and 70s for most of the like March, April, May. Oh my goodness, it was beautiful, and this year is not going to be anything like that. It's just not. So, yeah. Hope you all had a good weekend. We had a quiet at-home weekend, which is just dandy with me. And I am keeping busy. I want to show you something else I'm working on in my spare time. I don't know if you watched my first video on this project, but I wondered whether I would work on a heart like this. And I mean, this is time consuming. Let me get really close. Those are all French knots with variegated thread except for the white. And so in my spare time, which I have a lot of because, you know, retirement, I, in the last few days, have been working on that, but only the last few days. So that's just going to be my, you know, I want to do something to keep my hands busy when I'm watching TV, or I just need some quiet time in the bedroom and I want to sit and stitch. So that has been my meditative type stitching for the last few days, which I feel I've needed. I think I'm a little stressed out, but that too shall pass. And so this is just 2 strands. It's a DMC floss. It is, let me see. I'm horrible at ever commenting on what I'm using. It is DMC 105, and it's variegated. Oops. The problem with some of these is that the variegation goes in long, very long color. You know, that's long. That's a long color right there, that beige or light brown or tan or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it's it is a long color change. And I often like the ones that change color quicker than that, or in a shorter distance. So I really should try to dye my own floss. I mean, white floss is easy to get. And it's not like I don't know the process. The thing is, all of my dyeing experience was always with wool. And you have to heat the water and let it soak and not, you know, make sure it doesn't felt on you and ruin the wool. And all my experiences with that. And I know cotton is a lot easier. And I did do the ice dyeing with Rit dye last year or a year before. However, I think I can take these out now, those 2. Hopefully it won't pucker like some of my stuff has been doing because I had too many pins in it, and when I sewed it, it poofed up. But anywho's, that's what I should have done. I should have put something under there and make it, I could still do that because there's space to do that. I could get some little stuff and poof them out. Wouldn't that be cute? That's going to be for a future project. Next time. Something to remember, though. I should write these ideas down because Lord knows I'll forget it. Anywho's, what was I saying? Dying. Okay. Not the human dying, but, light. I need more light. I keep forgetting the light. Okay. And there's a teeny bit of sun right here shining through. It's coming and going because it's a cold. It's in the 40s. And compared to what we'd been getting, that's cold. And it's overcast, mostly overcast today. So my hands aren't working. I don't know why. Guess I didn't do enough hand exercises today. Trying to get my thread untwirled. You need to go there. Before I keep going. Okay. Okay, so you can get, if you go to Dharma Trading Company, which is based in California, you can buy Procyon, I don't know how it's pronounced. It's a C in the middle. Procyon dyes, and you can dye cotton with it. Now, the acid dyes that I have experience with were for natural animal fibers, the fibers. So hence when I was doing the wool, but all my dyes got old. I think I tossed them away, and I never did really get, well, that's untrue. I think I bought some cotton dyes, and then I think I either gave them or sold them to someone, and I meant to give her the wool dyes and not the cotton dyes. Yeah, so I kind of messed that up. These stitches are going to have to be a little bit bigger and intrude on the fabric a little further because this is all frayed down here, and I didn't want to cut it off because his feet are there, or her feet are there. I didn't want to cut those off. But anyway. So I might invest in that again. I mean, the things that I've dyed with the RIT when I was ice dyeing came out really well, and they haven't faded yet, but they aren't really out in the open either. I don't use them very often because they're very precious to me, because I don't know if I'm going to get back to doing it again. Although it's a very easy process, and during the summer, I think we were doing it in the winter. During the summer, it would be very easy to do out on the deck. So I don't know. We previously we set up a table in the basement and did it in the basement because we do have a sink right there. And if I do it on the deck, I would have to use the kitchen sink, and I don't know if I'm too fond of that idea. So I'll have to think about it. I'll have to see what I want to do. But I would like to try dyeing my own threads because it's not hard. Just get the dyes, mix them up, get the paintbrush, and I would take the thread apart, not apart. You know how it comes in a skein and they're about that long? I would unwind that and wind it again myself and try different lengths of winding them to see how the color changes go. And they're tiny. It wouldn't be like, I could probably do, 25 at a time if I really wanted to. So, I don't know. We'll see. The sun is coming out. I hope it's not skewing the camera too much. So, I'm so happy that I'm enjoying this project because, you know, I tend to commit to things and don't always stick with them, like writing in a journal. I'll start in January or February, and then a couple weeks goes by and I'm done. I don't know why, because I like tracking things, but it is what it is. And we got up this morning. Of course, you know, time change Saturday night into Sunday. But I was already starting to go to bed earlier anyway. I don't know why. My body just seems to, most of the time, automatically adjust to the time changes before they even happen. This might be our last time change. We don't know. Depends on what Congress does with it. There's a bill to make it be whatever this is, daylight savings time or whatever they call it, permanent, which I don't care. I don't care one way or the other. I would like it to be so that we don't have to keep changing clocks, but, you know, it is what it is. Again, started out really tiny, ended up really big. Always. I can't seem to stick to the program here. Oops. But anyway, it's on there. Don't know if I'm going to do anything anywhere else on the background or stitch any of this stuff. This might just be a really simple one today. Simple, sweet, short and sweet. Who knows? So, like I was saying, we did go grocery shopping this morning. Got out of the house probably about 10:30. And went to 2 stores because there's one store in particular that sells the Golden Delicious apples that I like. And then the other store is where we buy everything that is fresher than any of the other stores around here. That's interesting. Not sure why these are so uneven now. They started out evenly. Okay. So I have to stitch this on down here. This is a piece of cheesecloth that I used the Tim Holtz stains on, the spray stains. So that's all that is. I did mean to make those stitches smaller, but hey, once again. And then we finished the grocery shopping, and it takes us about anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes to get there and get back, depending on how many stoplights we hit. And so that took like hour and a half, maybe. The list wasn't that long. So that was good. Lettuce, tomatoes, avocados, you know, that kind of thing. And then came home, put all the stuff away, made lunch, ate lunch, cleaned up a bunch. Put a load of wash in. And so the wash is done, but I didn't want to put it in the dryer before I started this because it would be beeping in the middle of me working here, and I didn't want to stop and have to go get stuff out. I feel like it needs something else. Like maybe something on the background, but I don't want to do anything in here. I just want to leave it like it is. Maybe I'm just being lazy today. Martha? You think, Martha? Yes, I have other threads other than variegated. Do I use them much? Not really. I mean, look how perfect this is. Of course, I'd like to get to the dark green part. Okay. Now, what I sometimes do, it looks like this is a lot of thread, and it is. But what I sometimes do is I will do that. I'll take a strand out of here and use it as a double strand. The only problem that I found with that is, so that there's a light strand and a dark strand, but the only problem I have found with that is that if it knots up, it's a mess. So, yeah, there is that part that you have to deal with. Oh, I did this wrong. I only wanted one out of there, and then I messed it all up. Oh. Martha, come on, girlfriend. It's not gonna cooperate. Alrighty. I totally messed that up. What not to do when you're pulling one strand from the center. And of course we were out, so my nose is bothering me because, you know, even though it was only 40 degrees yesterday, don't do as I do. Go find an expert to follow if you want. If you want to do something like this. You know, the trees, the flowering trees, the Bradford pears and that invasive species, and the we'll just put this mess over here. Oops, sorry, I hit the camera. Oh, shadows from the sun. The cherry blossoms, the forsythia, the daffodils, they're all out. They've been out, and they are bloomed. In fact, our little daffodils, poor little things, they were all drooping over, little heads hanging this morning. It's very sad. But they're hardy little things, you know. Okay. And the forsythia has been out so long, the flowers are falling off and leaves are turning green. So that's the sad part about forsythia. They only stay yellow for, you know, a couple weeks, and then they turn to green. And you don't see them the rest of the year. You don't even notice the bush, really. So don't know if I'll love this, but it's a little added something to the background. besides the polka dots. Probably could have just left it and been very happy with it like that. But hey, I always feel like I gotta add a little more. If I thought about puffing up the owl, putting a little filling in there, but my filling is in the basement, so I would have had to put you on hold, run downstairs, come back huffing and puffing, and done it. And so I think I may do another one at some point, maybe not on a heart or whatever, but just a patch, and then be able to use that and puff it up a little bit. Be really cute as a patch, or just a heart to give someone, or just on the front of a card. That would be cute. So birds are singing. Of course, you can't hear them this time because I don't have the door open. Well, it's open, but it's only open about an inch. I will sit after the video is done and take that knot out of that thread. It's not wasted. I do have the patience to take it out, but I'm not going to torture you guys with that. That would be cruel and unusual punishment. I don't want to chase everybody away. I already lost a bunch of subscribers, so. And the other ones, I'm not sure how many of them are actually watching this and they just haven't unsubscribed yet. Whoever you are, I do appreciate that anyway. Supposedly, my analytics is showing me that there are people who are watching that are not subscribed. Doesn't cost you anything, so if you'd like to subscribe, I wouldn't be mad about that. In fact, I'd appreciate it very much. So, tomorrow we have a doctor's appointment for Tony in the afternoon. I will try to record in the morning, but I'll have to see what else is going on in the morning and how that goes. And hoping that this doctor takes the situation seriously, but also hoping that he doesn't think that Tony needs any intervention with what's going on with his leg. So we'll see. We shall see. Past my tea time, and I think I'm fading here, even though I drink decaf tea. It's always a sort of a little pick-me-up kind of thing. You know? I know there's a little bit of caffeine in the decaf tea. So. It's almost 3 o'clock. Tea time. Okay. Getting close to the thread chicken time. It's not like I don't have more. Where that came from, right? Sorry for the sniffle. Okay, Martha, just tie it off. Get a new one. Some more where that came from. I need to call my brother and sister-in-law. They are in Hayward, California. And find out how they are doing, how they are faring with all of the atmospheric river rain. My sister-in-law is like, we're fine. She just blows everything off. I don't know. I'm not one of those people. So I've never blown off situations very well. I don't like to be too dramatic about situations, but I don't know. Or she had a very carefree upbringing and I did not. So maybe that's it. But I like to check in on them because my brother has also had heart issues. Both of my brothers and myself have had heart issues. I lucked out when I had my heart attack because I had a stent placed and that took care of the blockage. But both of my brothers had open heart surgery, had their chests cracked open and had to have, I think, 5 bypasses each. Each brother had to have one. So, yeah, that's a lot. That's painful and it's a lot of recovery. And that's a lot to go through. And so, but I had one brother that was 8 years older than I, and he passed away. So he passed away in I can't remember now. Isn't that terrible? I hate it because it makes me very sad to think about because I was very close to that brother. So anyhow, 2015, I think he passed away. And he was 8 years older than I am. My other brother in California is 10 years older than I am. Well, the one that was 8 years older than me, he had open heart surgery in probably, let's see, I had my heart attack in 2007. I think 1990, oh my gosh, I don't know. It was before I had mine. Then, and I went up and helped take care of him because he was single. And they wouldn't let him out of the hospital on his own recognizance, as they say, unless he had someone to care for him. And he did not want to go to a rehab center. So I went up for a couple weeks, took care of him. It was in the late 90s. So then my oldest brother, he didn't. So my brother that passed away, he was, I want to say he was in his late 50s when he had his open heart surgery. I had just turned 51 when I had my heart attack. And my oldest brother was, let's see, if I'm 67 this year, he's 10 years older, so he'll be 77. See, I told you, me and math. 77. And he had it about, let's see, we're in 2023, 2018, I think he had his. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So 5 years ago. So if he's going to be 77, 76, 75, 74, 73, 72. I told you I count on my fingers. So 72. He was about 72 when he had his. So he had his much later than any of us had ours. Our dad had his heart attack. He was in his upper 50s, about the same age as my brother, who's now deceased. So, but my dad had lung cancer before he had his heart attack. But inevitably, that's what did him in. Now, I don't smoke, don't drink alcohol. I drink water and tea. That's it. I did used to eat a lot of ice cream, which is not great for the arteries and so forth. My oldest brother does not smoke. I think he does drink alcohol, but he was always really pretty active. Flies planes, all kinds of things. Don't know if he does anymore, but anyway. So maybe that's why he had his. I don't know. Much later than we did. I know I had mine about 3 years after going through menopause, and I had my heart attack like 4 days after my birthday, my 51st birthday. So that was a heck of a birthday present that year. So, yeah. So, heart issues and arterial issues do run in our family. So I'm trying to be better now. Better late than never. It's just some days it's not as easy as others. Oh, look, I got it untangled. Can I get one strand out? I did. Yay. I'm going to do some of the lighter color. Oops. Double it over. I don't know. My brain is not on this today, I guess. Some days are just like that, right? You want to do something, but it's not always cohesive to what your brain wants. Oops. Oh, darn. See if I can get this loop through there. Yay. Success. So, yeah. There's always stuff to think about. Health is a tricky thing. Now, my older brother, he did smoke, and he went right back to smoking like within 6 months of his heart bypass surgery. And he was told not to, but it was one of his, he had a very addictive personality. He had like 32 years in Alcoholics Anonymous, and that was wonderful, but he did have an addictive personality, so he said he couldn't give up smoking when he had already given up drinking. And inevitably, we're pretty sure that's what did him in, so was the smoking. Sadly, because we think he had another heart issue. His biggest mistake was moving from Maine to Florida, because I don't think the healthcare was as good what he was getting down there as he got in Maine. Sad to say. So, who knows? Sorry. I keep doing that. I forget. Not even sure this video is worth posting. Oh my gosh. Yay, thread chicken again. Love this game. I made it. Okay. I'm calling that good. Oops, maybe if I can tie this off without losing it. Come on. Stop it. Barely. Just barely. Yeah, he would have been really cute, Puffy, wouldn't he? I like it. The little seed stitches there, they break up the, I'm looking for the pencil. They break up the polka dots a little bit. Polka dots can be hard on the eyes as far as I'm concerned. Okay, this day. I should probably put something firm under here. It would probably work a lot better. Hold that thought. Come on. Day 20. Simple but cute, I think. So, once again, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. And I love you all. And leave comments. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. I know, it wasn't much. I'm sorry. I hope you all have a really good day and a good week. And I'll be back when I can. Possibly not tomorrow, but I'll be back when I can. You take care now. Hugs to everybody. Bye.